Tired of the same old European hotspots? Forget the tourist-packed cities. It's time to explore the hidden gems. From medieval fortresses to stunning coastlines, these 7 underrated European cities offer history, adventure, and unforgettable experiences, without the crowds. Ready to discover your next dream vacation spot? Let's dive in. Aalborg, Denmark. Imagine strolling through a city where medieval charm blends seamlessly with modern innovation. Welcome to Aalborg, Denmark, a place that most travelers overlook but shouldn't. Nestled in northern Jutland, this hidden gem is bursting with history, culture, and a thriving waterfront that feels like something straight out of a travel dream. First, let's talk about the Aalborg waterfront. A stunning transformation from an old industrial hub to a sleek, modern space where locals and visitors soak in the best of Danish design. You'll find the Utzon Center, designed by the mastermind behind the Sydney Opera House, Jorn Utzon. It's not just a museum, it's a creative space where architecture and art come to life. But Aalborg isn't just about modern elegance, it's a city that wears its Viking history proudly. Just a short trip from the center, you can step back in time at Lindholm Hoge, one of Scandinavia's best-preserved Viking burial sites. Imagine standing among ancient stone ship formations, picturing the lives of warriors and settlers who walked these lands centuries ago. And if you love street art, you're in for a treat. Aalborg has transformed itself into an open-air gallery with massive murals splashed across the city. Every turn reveals a new masterpiece, adding a vibrant urban twist to the historical setting. Of course, no trip to Aalborg is complete without diving into its food scene. From traditional Danish smørrebrød, open-faced sandwiches, to Michelin-recommended restaurants, your taste buds will thank you. And don't forget to sip on aquavit, the locally beloved schnapps. So, if you're looking for a city that blends old and new Viking lore and modern art, buzzing nightlife and cozy cafes, Aalborg is calling your name. Will you answer? Koper, Slovenia. Picture this. A stunning coastal town where Venetian architecture meets crystal-clear Adriatic waters, yet it remains blissfully free from tourist crowds. Welcome to Koper, Slovenia, an underrated paradise that's just waiting to be explored. While most travelers rush to Ljubljana or Lake Bled, those in the know head to Koper for a serene, sun-kissed escape. This charming town, once a part of the mighty Venetian Republic, is a living postcard of medieval alleyways, sun-drenched piazzas, and stunning sea views. Start your journey in Tito Square, the beating heart of Koper. You'll be surrounded by architectural gems like the Praetorian Palace, a fairy-tale-like 15th-century masterpiece, and the Cathedral of the Assumption, home to the highest bell tower in Slovenia. Climb to the top for a breathtaking panoramic view of the town and the endless blue Adriatic beyond. But Koper isn't just a place to admire, it's a place to experience. Stroll through Cheveljarska Street where lively cafes and local boutiques invite you to slow down and soak in the easygoing Mediterranean atmosphere. Grab a seat, sip on a glass of Slovenian wine, trust me it rivals the best of Italy and France, and let the town's energy pull you in. For adventurers, Koper offers more than just history. Just outside the town you can find Strungen Nature Park, home to cliffside hiking trails, pristine beaches, and the oldest salt pans in the Adriatic. Or take a kayak out to explore the coastline. The turquoise waters are unreal. And of course, the food. Oh, the food. Being a coastal town, Koper is a seafood lover's dream. Enjoy the freshest calamari, mussels, and Adriatic fish, all prepared in the local Istrian style. And don't leave without trying fuzi with truffle sauce, a delicious homemade pasta dish that'll make you fall in love with Slovenian cuisine. Sligo, Ireland. Imagine a place where rugged landscapes, ancient legends, and literary magic come together to create an atmosphere unlike anywhere else. Welcome to Sligo, Ireland, a hidden treasure along the country's untamed west coast. This isn't your typical tourist stop. It's a soul-stirring escape where every hill, every wave, and every whisper of the wind feels like a story waiting to be told. Let's start with the scenery, because Sligo isn't just beautiful, it's breathtakingly wild. The iconic Ben Bulben Mountain looms over the town like something straight out of a fantasy novel, with its dramatic tabletop peak and endless green slopes. Hikers, get ready. Climbing this natural wonder rewards you with jaw-dropping views of the Atlantic and the rolling countryside. But Sligo isn't just a paradise for nature lovers, it's a place that breathes poetry. This is Yeats country, named after Ireland's legendary poet W.B. Yeats, who was mesmerized by Sligo's mystical charm. You can visit his grave at Drumcliff Cemetery where the epitaph reads, "Cast a cold eye on life, on death." Horsemen pass by, a hauntingly beautiful tribute to a man inspired by this land. And then there's the coastline. Sligo's beaches aren't your typical sunbathing spots, they're wild, untamed, and thrilling. Strandhill Beach is one of the best surfing destinations in Europe, with crashing waves that attract adventure seekers from around the world. Or, if you prefer something more peaceful, take a quiet walk along Ross's Point, where the sky and sea seem to stretch into infinity. Let's not forget the food. Sligo's seafood is next-level fresh. Whether it's a bowl of creamy chowder, locally caught oysters, or a steaming plate of traditional Irish stew, your taste buds will thank you. Pair it with a pint of Guinness or a glass of local whiskey and you've got the perfect Irish experience. Verona, Italy. If cities had personalities, Verona would be the hopeless romantic with a flair for drama, poetry, and a touch of mystery. While most travelers rush to Rome, Venice, or Florence, those who know the real magic of Italy find themselves falling in love with Verona, a city where history whispers from the cobblestones, and every sunset feels like a scene from a classic film. Yes, Romeo and Juliet put Verona on the map, and visiting Juliet's balcony is a must. But let's be real, this city is so much more than a Shakespearean love story. It's a place where ancient Roman grandeur meets medieval charm, where you can walk through history, sip world-class wine, and still escape the massive tourist crowds. Let's talk architecture. Verona is home to one of the best-preserved Roman arenas in the world, the Verona Arena, which predates the Colosseum. Imagine watching a live opera performance under the stars in the very spot where gladiators once battled. It's an experience straight out of a dream. Beyond the famous landmarks, Verona's streets are pure magic. Stroll through Piazza del Erbe, where colorful buildings, bustling cafes, and Renaissance-era frescoes create a picture-perfect setting. Then, cross the Ponte Pietra, a stunning Roman bridge spanning the Adige River, and climb up to Castel San Pietro for an unforgettable panoramic view of the city, especially at sunset. And then there's the food and wine. Verona is in the heart of Italy's wine country, so whether you're sipping a glass of Valpolicella or indulging in a plate of homemade risotto al Amarone, your taste buds will be in heaven. Oh, and let's not forget the gelato, because what's an Italian adventure without a scoop or three? Tirana, Albania. Think you know Europe? Think again. Tirana, Albania is nothing like the typical capitals you've seen. It's colorful, chaotic, vibrant, and full of surprises. Once isolated for decades under communist rule, today Tirana is one of the most exciting, fast-growing, and underrated cities in Europe. A place where history, culture, and a touch of rebellion come together in the most fascinating way. The first thing you'll notice? The colors. Unlike the gray uniform buildings you might expect from a former communist city, Tirana is bursting with life. Its streets are lined with buildings painted in bold shades of red, yellow, blue, and green. A transformation started by an artist-turned-mayor who wanted to bring the city back to life. And guess what? It worked. Start your adventure in Skanderbeg Square, the heart of Tirana. Here you'll find the Grand Edom Bey Mosque, one of the few religious structures that survived Albania's communist-era ban on religion. Right next to it, the imposing Pyramid of Tirana, a bizarre but iconic structure originally built as a museum for Albania's communist dictator. Today, it's covered in graffiti, climbed by adventurous locals, and stands as a symbol of Tirana's rebellious spirit. But Tirana isn't just about history, it's about energy. The Bloku district, once off-limits to ordinary Albanians during communist times, is now a buzzing hub of trendy cafes, cool bars, and non-stop nightlife. Want to feel like a local? Grab a strong Albanian coffee, sit outside, and just watch the world go by. Albanians take their coffee culture seriously, and once you try it, you will too. For a deeper dive into the past, visit Bunkart, an underground museum housed in a former nuclear bunker. Step inside, and you'll be transported into Albania's dark but fascinating communist history, told through immersive exhibitions and eerie tunnels. And let's not forget the food, a delicious mix of Mediterranean, Italian, and Balkan influences. Try bajrek, a crispy pastry filled with cheese or meat, or a plate of tave kozi, Albania's famous baked lamb and yogurt dish. One bite, and you'll be hooked. Tirana is a city that refuses to be boring. It's bold, unpredictable, and full of life. Zamora, Spain. If you think Spain is all about Madrid, Barcelona, and Seville, think again. Nestled in the heart of Castile and Leon, Zamora is a city frozen in time, untouched by mass tourism, and overflowing with history, charm, and some of the best food and wine you'll ever taste. First things first, architecture lovers, get ready. Zamora is often called the Museum of Romanesque Art, and for good reason. The city boasts over 20 Romanesque churches, more than anywhere else in Spain. Just picture it, ancient stone facades, towering bell towers, and streets that whisper stories from the Middle Ages. One of the most breathtaking spots? The Zamora Cathedral, a masterpiece of 12th century architecture with a stunning Byzantine-style dome that dominates the skyline. But that's just the beginning. The real magic happens when you start wandering. Cross the Puente de Piedra, an elegant medieval bridge spanning the Duero River, and you'll feel like you've stepped into a fairy tale. Explore the cobblestone streets of the Old Town, where every turn reveals a hidden plaza, a centuries-old chapel, or a charming local cafe. And then there's the castle. Yes, Zamora has its very own medieval fortress, complete with thick stone walls, towering battlements, and jaw-dropping panoramic views of the city and river below. It's the perfect place to soak in Zamora's timeless beauty. Now let's talk about the real reason you'll never want to leave, the food and wine. Zamora is part of the Toro wine region, famous for its rich, bold red wines that rival even the best of Rioja. Pair a glass with queso zamorano, a locally produced sheep's cheese that will ruin all other cheeses for you forever. And if you're feeling hungry, don't leave without trying bacalao a la tranca, a traditional salted cod dish that's been perfected over generations. Ghent, Belgium. If Bruges is Belgium's storybook city and Brussels is its cosmopolitan capital, then Ghent is the country's best-kept secret, a place where medieval charm meets modern creativity, where canals weave through ancient streets, and where history doesn't just live in museums, it breathes all around you. Step into Ghent and you'll feel like you've discovered a hidden world of castles, cathedrals, and cozy cafes, without the overwhelming tourist crowds. Start your journey in the heart of the city at Gravenstein Castle, a real medieval fortress straight out of a fantasy novel. Climb its ancient stone towers for a panoramic view of the city, where Gothic spires rise above the canals like something from a dream. Speaking of spires, St. Bavo's Cathedral is unmissable. This masterpiece of medieval architecture houses the Adoration of the Mystic Lamb, a painting so famous and mysterious that it has been stolen multiple times. Yes, even by the Nazis! It's considered one of the most important works of art in the world, and it's right here in Ghent. But Ghent isn't just a city of the past, it's bursting with life. Walk along the stunning Grassley and Cornley canals, where historic guildhouses now host lively cafes. Grab a drink and soak in the breathtaking views because this is one of the most picturesque spots in all of Belgium. And let's talk about food, because Ghent has some seriously good eats. Try water zooey, a creamy Belgian stew that will warm your soul, or go all in with Gentse stoverage, a slow-cooked beef stew made with local beer. And of course, no trip to Belgium is complete without fries, but in Ghent you'll find the best fries of your life, crispy on the outside and fluffy inside. Dip them in Annalou sauce and thank me later. At night, the city transforms. Ghent has one of the most stunning citywide lighting plans in the world, making its medieval streets glow in golden light. Stroll across St. Michael's Bridge and watch as the reflections dance in the water. It's pure magic. Europe is full of hidden treasures, and now you know 7 incredible cities that deserve a spot on your travel list. Which one are you adding to your itinerary? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more epic travel content. This is Explore Edge. See you in the next adventure.